the bag, I run it up with my bros. Doing the digital dash, gotta get guacamole. We on the blockchain, where they cannot control me. We on the blockchain, where they brand new coding. We on the route to the bag, I run it up with my bros. Doing the digital dash, gotta get guacamole. We on the blockchain, where they cannot control me. We on the blockchain, where they brand new coding. Okay, let's get it. Mixing a new NFC, selling out in a minute. I'm choosing myself cause I know I'm the one with the vision. It's wonderful, we on the beach and the colors is vivid. I want it, I get it. You dream it, I live it. I'm on Ethereum, going city to city. Immutable metaverse, my crypto been busy. Not fungible, wonderful, we see it clearly. We on the route to the bag, I run it up with my bros. Doing the digital dash, gotta get guacamole. We on the blockchain, where they cannot control me. We on the blockchain, written in brand new code. I'm chained to the block, on the way to the guap. NFTs too hot, secret rare price at a lot, yeah. Crypto been ready to pop, yeah. Desert shit a lot, yeah. I work to work, I don't stop, yeah. Gotta invest in yourself, go up, keep on learning. I got it down for my wealth, crypto new control. We turning up with the game, celebrate all emotion. Like a mutant name, off of that serum potion. We on the route to the bag, I run it up with my bros. Doing the digital dash, gotta get guacamole. We on the blockchain, where they cannot control me. We on the blockchain, written in brand new coding.
What is good? Welcome. Let me go ahead and fix my camera as a matter of fact here. There we go. Welcome into the stream. Today we're going to be talking about Apple. Okay, Apple headset is set to release here in the not so distant future. We're talking about the next 40 minutes. The Apple keynote is going to happen. All right, let me turn that music down just a little bit here. And we're going to talk about a few tokens in the metaverse genre that could do really well here on the stream today. So welcome in. Let me know if you're happy or excited about the Apple keynote that's going to happen in the next 40 minutes. It's less than 40 minutes away, so this is going to be a big one. Okay, so let's go ahead and just jump right into it. And let me go ahead and share the screen right here today. We got a few tokens here in the CoinGecko list here. Now, this is off of CoinGecko. We're also going to be taking a look at CoinMarketCap as well, some of these tokens here on the stream today. So we'll be talking a lot about that, and go ahead and chime in on the chat. Let me know some of the tokens you are looking at in anticipation of the Apple headset. All right. Now, a lot of these tokens have ran up the past month here in anticipation of Apple. You know, buy the rumor, sell the news. That's what I've been seeing play out, at least currently. You can see a lot of these tokens are actually red today in the last 24 hours. And that's what's typical in the crypto space. You see a lot of that happening. Now, people could also be having doubts as well. So you get a mixture of both buy the rumor, sell the news type of scenario and doubt setting in. Now, the keynote could sustain a long-term potential here in some of these tokens, and that's what we're going to be really talking about, not the short-term plays, all right? We're going to be talking about the dips that we are seeing right now, how that could play in for the long term and set you up, because again, we saw a lot of these metaverse tokens really take off when Meta announced they're changing their name, and you know, the metaverse, people were really excited about it at first, and then of course it took a big dump and people didn't like the term metaverse anymore. It became more of a marketing stigma, if you will. But that set up a lot of opportunity because, you know, a lot of these tokens went, you know, down, and that was a good opportunity in the valley to pick up those tokens for this next cycle that's already happened here in the VR AR headset, what Apple could do at their event. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. You can see some of these tokens like Render, for example, have been doing really well. I think this one could have a lot of potential here still, especially in the long run. You can see this one is trading at almost 900 million market cap. Again, this one is tackling something that is more of a key issue here. You can see distributed GPU rendering on the blockchain, which I find really interesting. With Ethereum, they're going staking and things, or they're upgraded the network to do proof of stake. And so they're getting away from GPU mining and things like that. So I could see a lot of these GPUs kind of be orphaned, if you will, and platforms like Render picking up a lot of these GPU power, decentralized power here. So that's why I see potential in Render. And as this space continues to grow, you're going to have a constant demand for GPU rendering power and GPU compute. So again, that's why I think Render could be a good play here, in a bull run, could even run up even more. Now it's dropped off almost 5% in the last hour and 5.5 or 4% in the last day. So again, there could be some opportunity here in some of these dips. If these continue to dip down, that's going to be the question, and looking for those entries. Now, it still is a wait and see. I'm not going to enter any of these tokens, and I don't suggest people just enter the tokens now just because we're talking about them. You always want to do your own research. Now, Sandbox is one of those ones where, to me, it's more of a gaming play. I don't know if they actually have a VR integration just yet. They could introduce that at some point. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that, but that one's a good one for, like, they're going after that Roblox, Minecraft type of gamer, especially as they get older and they want to own their own assets and things like that. I could see the Sandbox doing really well there. Decentraland, I still think, has a good potential. This one's trading at, it's almost at a, also at almost at $1 billion market cap like Render. This one could be interesting in terms of the long run, basically the long run. It's different because it doesn't have that pixelated type of, graphics, right? It's got more of that cartoony, anime vibes, things like that you would see kind of in like VR chat, if you will. So I could see this one being fun, especially as they continue to develop this and it continue to roll out. This one's I think a natural benefactor of the VR space. Again, just because it's different from Sandbox, and people kind of like that, in terms of VR. They like that kind of more, not higher end necessarily. It's just they want that more cartoony look, like what we see with Meta already. We see it with a bunch, VR chat and all these different VR applications. I think Decentraland is going to be a natural benefactor. I know it hasn't performed super well over the last, metaverse dip, if you will. Now we're entering the next cycle, so we'll see what Apple does. Again, we're talking about moments away from what Apple could launch, and we'll see. We have to pay attention to the keynote, what Apple, how they present this headset in terms of everything, right? Is it going to be, is the chip going to be powerful enough to power it? Is it going to be, are you going to have to be, is it going to be tethered? A lot of people have kind of leaked some of these details saying that it's not going to be a tethered one, but we'll see. Like, we don't know until they actually announce. Price tag could play an issue into this headset. If it truly is going to be a $3,000 headset, that could put a little hamper on the whole hype of this. If they do have a introduction model where it's only like, $1,000 or even $2,000, that might be better, right? So again, these are some of the things that I'm going to be paying attention to, watching the keynote as this event goes live here shortly in the next 30 minutes. So definitely something to look out for as we're watching these tokens. We're getting a live look at the token price action now, right? Illuvium, it's not a metaverse, it's more of a game, right? Gaming studio. So we won't really talk about Illuvium, although they just partnered up with a GameStop to drop some GameStop branded NFTs over on Illuvium. So shout out to them for making that partnership and connection there. Let's see here. Magic, that's gaming ecosystem here again. Wilder World. Now, this one is interesting. Okay, so this one is, I covered this one, I believe, last year as well. It's more that higher end metaverse play here. So if you haven't seen Wilder World, you can even see the Illuvium obelisk in the background right there. At least it looks like an Easter egg. It looks like an Illuvium obelisk, speaking of which. That looks like Moltres, by the way, from Pokemon. Not going to lie, okay? If you're big into Pokemon, tell me that does not look like Moltres from Pokemon. Anyways, this one is a higher end, you can see the metaverse. You can even see the graphics right here. I don't even have to tell you it's higher end. You can just see it right there. They have racing, they have pets and animals in their metaverse, which you can actually move around with them. Things like that. You can see the high end, like you can see it looks like ray tracing coming off of that mask. And so yeah, there's obviously at the bottom, you can see some of the different things they offer: wheels, kicks, cribs, land, guild, crafts, beasts, and things like that. I believe the guy that founded this is an actual artist in real life. He like goes around putting statues on like buildings in real life, like Banksy type stuff. I've seen him on top of the FTX building at one point when before FTX collapsed and was putting his art statues on there. So it's kind of an interesting, interesting founder, if you will. But this one could do really well. Again, this one's over about, let's see, take a look at the market cap, 118 million. This one's had a run up in price this past month. Let's take a look at the 30-day. This one is at 24 cents back in the beginning of May, and now you're seeing it hit off of 63 cents. So it went 3x there, and people are maybe taking some of the gains off as today's event is about to take hold here. Again, buy the rumor, sell the news. But again, this could set up some potential for some good long-term plays, especially if these do go all the way down and take that second cycle dip. But if Apple's headset, really is sticky and it is received very well, these tokens could perform very well, or at least maintain a little bit of some of the price action here. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to. If we notice a new price area and that price area in discovery is able to maintain that level, then it could be a nice little entry. And I'll kind of watch it from there. But again, these are all things that you have to monitor the macro very closely if you're going to consider making some of these entries. Let's see here, Vulcan Forge. Now, Vulcan Forge is interesting here. This one is a gaming ecosystem as well. It looks like they're kind of going into medical, maybe. I saw their last like demonstration or live event that was they were streaming, and it looks like they're going into medical. I don't know if that's where they'll pivot to. They have quite a bit of an ecosystem, as you can see here. They have games, products, a marketplace. Agora is one of those ones trying to build off of it. A Dex, Forge, all kinds of stuff and solutions. You can see their products again right here, some of their main ones. And also Metascapes is going to be one of those ones that are really, let's see if I can actually take a look here. Metascapes is going to be their VR platform. So we're going to take a look at that. Metascapes.io here. Let me pull it up and see if it will. Take a second to load here. Let me get to chat here. The machine, GM, Vincent GM, KDN GM. Can Apple do all this alone, or is it partnering with a brand that has a history in this area? Thanks. So I think they'll partner. I think they're not going to do any like Web3 out of the gates, right? You know what I mean? Just like what Epic Games is doing. So Epic Games, I watched their keynote. The CEO was like, we don't need NFTs, and they launched their Fortnite creator, Unreal Engine editor, if you will. And I think the reason why is because they don't want to spook their investors. And I think Apple's going to do the same thing here. Meta rolled back their Web3 support. I just don't think the timing and sentiment wise in the mainstream, media, mainstream users, they just don't really, they got to wrap their heads around VR first before they get to the next step, or AR first before they get to the next step. So I think that's what's going to happen here. I don't think we'll get too many mentions or showcases or anything like that in terms of Web3. I think they're just going to do a lot of Web2 stuff. And as people get educated, they get these products into people's hands, or heads rather. I think that's when the narrative and the sentiment will start changing. But I think consumers are going to have these products on, be using them in order to really understand the digital space. When people see this, they try it for themselves. That's when things change, right? It's like when you go to Costco or Sam's Club and you see these vendors out there, they have these little samples, and they're like, hey, just sample this, just try it, because they know they have a good product, and if you try it, you're actually going to like it. There's a high probability that you might like that product, or it tastes good, and that's going to change your literal mind about if you want to buy that product or not, because you actually tried it, right? I think that's where a lot of companies are going to fall. I don't know why Meta didn't really do that, or they tried to do it with the Oculus by basically subsidizing their headsets, and we'll see what they do though. I think they're playing into Apple and what Apple's doing in terms of the headset, the price point. I see the MetaQuest is even going to be more expensive, but it's still probably going to be way more affordable than the Apple headset. So Meta, I think, has really done a good job in terms of their hardware. And Apple's only going to continue the narrative of the headsets, right? And we see HTC, all these other companies, they've already been in the space for a while now. So again, this is only going to help the entire space as a whole lift up, right? And I think that's what's going to happen here. So let's go back to Metascapes here. I know I went on a kind of rant there just for a second. We'll take a look at this one. I don't know. See VR. Now their website is kind of not sexy at all. They have cool videos, so I don't know why they don't have videos on their website. That is kind of... Anyways, they have a cool cool introduction video or trailer, if you will. The Metascapes is really cool. It's like characters, avatars. They look really fun. I'm shocked they don't have it on their website. Let's take a look at some of these other tokens as well. And of course, we'll take a look at coin market cap as well. Some of these are just, I don't think, metaverse tokens. Like, I'm not sure why Stacks is a Bitcoin layer is on a metaverse category. It's not a metaverse token, but unless they're doing some kind of VR thing or metaverse I don't know about. Zilliqa, kind of just a blockchain as well. So Floki, like, I don't know why they put these in the category, but they did. It's kind of interesting. And let's scroll down the list here. Ultra, this one's a cool one. Again, not really a metaverse token. Some of these are like gaming stuff. Seek now is a VR. So Seek is, let's see, this one's at $59 million market cap. I'm surprised it did pump. This one's going to be good for accessibility factor. Their headset is more like geared towards sticking your phone in their like headset. If they, excuse me, if they're able to really fine tune their product and make it more appealing for the mainstream, then I think they could do well. But that one is not like my favorite picks by any means. Veracity, I think that's another gaming ecosystem. So there's really like not a lot of competition out here. Virtua, obviously that is kind of like what sort of like what Vivi is doing. They have their own metaverse, they have their own digital collectibles and showroom. Again, Vivi is not in this category on both websites, and maybe that's because they don't have their like virtual showroom out just technically yet in terms of the Viviverse. But Virtua is doing something kind of similar there. Now their market cap's 33 million. This one has good potential. I think Virtua has actually really good potential because it is a lower market cap. I think Ecomi is still at like 130 million market cap. So I could see this one performing really well. So there's that one. Eternity, that's one that is the digital collectible platform. They don't really have metaverse in my opinion yet. So I'm not sure why they put some of these platforms in here, but it is interesting. Eternity, I've done some videos on that one and some ads, even was sponsored to do some ads on that one. But I've checked out Eternity way before that. So I know their products, they have good artists and things like that. UFA Gaming, another gaming ecosystem. There could be some good launchers on there. So think of VR games. VR games, I think, will do really well. Myria has a couple of good ones on here as well. So let's go ahead and check out Myria. Actually, there's one I think called like Boss Fight or something like that. Let me run over here on Myria and take a look here. So Myria is very similar to Immutable X. Okay, so they're building kind of on the same type of technology that Immutable X is. So let me see if I can find Boss Fight here. Yeah, so Boss Fighters is a VR. Think of like Fortnite meets VR. So that's kind of what this is, where you can actually be the boss in VR. What's really cool about this that actually stuck out to me the most was you could be the boss in VR. You can actually stream to earn on this game. So you could actually stream this and you don't even have to be playing, and that you'll still be able to earn their in-game tokens or whatever in this ecosystem. So I could see this one doing good, like games like this that are innovative and fun and provide a way, stream to earn. I've never heard that before. There may be some projects out there in like social media type platforms, but that was very interesting to me. Again, this one's like, we'll blow it up a little bit. Graphics don't really serve justice here on the stream, but as you can see, it's kind of like those Fortnite-ish characters. You can see the dynamics and mechanics are a little bit similar to that in how the movement is. You have jetpacks, but literally that middle bot right here is actual somebody with a VR headset on throwing cars around. You can destroy your environment, as you can see right there. So you can see the first person VR, like you can smash people with a dumpster. Like it looks really, really fun. So Again, this one's on the Miria ecosystem. So I know a lot of people haven't been covering Miria too much, and I just wanted to give them a shout out because they have so many games here. Look at this. From every genre, you have a lot of different games. But again, VR games, I just wanted to talk about that because a lot of people don't talk about VR games. They just talk about the metaverses. Now, some of these will kind of be a mixture of the two, like Wilder World and things like that. So, Wilder World with the racing. Star Atlas is another one too. Star Atlas, they actually have VR, which I didn't really know until recently. So Star Atlas, they've been putting out some really good stuff. Their showroom, their recent showroom. Actually, I just downloaded Star Atlas to my computer to demo their showroom. Let me see if I can take a look here if I have their Twitter, and I can show you kind of a little bit more about Star Atlas and what they're doing over there. Let's see. If Twitter is not going to rug me, so we'll try to see. So you can see this is their showroom.
Star Atlas Vessel Showroom.
Let's go ahead and demo this real quick. You can see your character getting off the train. This is pretty cool. So anyways, that's kind of what an update on Star Atlas right there, flying around the ship. Kind of reminds you of like pod racing. If you played Star Wars, the pod racing games, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, you can actually go into VR and take a look at your own ships and things like that, which I found very cool and interesting. I could see this game benefiting from that as well. I've been pretty impressed. I thought this was going to take a lot longer in terms of dev time in Star Atlas, but from what I'm seeing, it seems like they're developing really quickly. So I just want to give them a quick shout out on that and kind of a VR plug as well, since they do have that. They're not really known for it, so I just want to give them a shout out. Now, Polis, they have 2 tokens, so you want to be careful with that. Polis is the governance token, and then their game token is going to be Atlas. Atlas is like super micro cap right now. It's like 21 million. So, I mean, that could be potentially a good play long term. Now, it may be a long term hold, but something that is a very low market cap. Somnium is another super low market cap. Kind of like Decentraland in terms of their metaverse. They have their own token called Cube, which is interesting. Some people I've seen the stream on like Twitch. I've seen even some, people on my timeline with this one. Now, this is not what the avatars look like. So they look more like this down here. So I don't know why they're demoing these blocky things here, but they have Unity, SDK, virtual reality, a builder, and marketplace. So everything's there, for the metaverse and things like that. I've seen people showcase their own, NFTs on their walls in this metaverse. So I do find that one interesting as well. Super low market cap again, so you do want to be careful. Now the rest of these are just going to be games, for the most part. Network. This one's kind of like, I don't want to say like, it's just I haven't seen too much hype on this one. This one generated a lot of hype initially in the metaverse bull run, as you can see here, and it is completely just decimated. So it went from $6, almost $7 to now just 13 cents, 12 cents even. This one could do something long run. Again, I haven't kept up to date with at all with Network. I haven't seen them in any kind of publications lately. So I have no idea on that one. But they are going after the metaverse genre. They have like an entire vision, roadmap, and all kinds of stuff. When I first looked into it, on this one, so you can see it does look high quality. It looks really good. Like what they could, I don't know what they could be doing behind the scenes because I have to actually do the research, but it does look good. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, this looks really good. Kind of that Wilder World type of really good graphics, NFT vehicles, things like that. So I think they may have been launched before Wilder World even, maybe. But you can see that their video and what they're trying to do. They had some really good artists in here too as well, designing some of these assets. I do remember one of the assets or one of the artists had his own NFT project, and it went up to like 5 ETH. So yeah, so there's that. You can see Mine Runner game, our first play to earn game, made in Unreal Engine. But yeah, I mean it's very small market cap, so you do have to be careful with some of those because they could just you know the risks. Obviously, I don't need to tell you that. VFox's VR, very super tiny market cap, only 3 mil, only 17 cents. Really risky plays as we get lower and lower into this. You know, Revamon, I think it's a VR game. It's only 1.5, so we won't even cover some of those. But obviously, Ecomi is decimated the token on the chart in terms of their price action. This one obviously was at over a cent, and now it's down to 0006. So could be opportunity there. Now this one, they haven't launched their obviously the VV-verse and their metaverse yet, but it could benefit long term if they roll that out and are able to integrate it with some of these headsets and things like that. Obviously, it's engine agnostic. A lot of the viewers on the channel already know a lot of the different things around the Ecomi ecosystem. But I just wanted to cover that one because it's not on this list yet. It's not on CoinMarketCap or CoinMarketCap or Coin Gecko. So I just wanted to talk about that one because it's not on the list here in terms of the Ecomi token. I think some of that too is because the Ecomi token doesn't have utility in terms of their ecosystem, a wider ecosystem. You know, there's no NFT to OMI or vice versa, OMI to NFT. And the VV-verse isn't out. They've talked about introducing it into the VV-verse possibly. So maybe when that happens, I think they'll be added to this list possibly in terms of that. Luxo is another one that I find interesting here. This one's going to be a token that's going to be based around. Now this one is, has a significant market cap already. It looks like fully diluted, it's almost 1 billion. They're tackling, virtualization, tokenization, identification, but also, physical collectibles, managing smart IP rights, digital closet, gamification, share rental service, and decentralized markets, co-create customer engagement, their own blockchain. So a lot of the issues we're seeing on Ethereum, the royalties, you have Blur, like circumventing some of these systems. Even VV's had problems, probably, I'm assuming, and trying to navigate that. So Luxo could do one of those, could solve a lot of these issues in the space. Neo Tokyo is a project I hold. They actually upgraded their smart contracts so that they could manage their royalties. So it's something that every project's going to have to do in the space if they want to continue to get royalties, is update their smart contracts. So shout out to Neo Tokyo for bringing the innovation, one of the largest collections in the NFT space and one of the largest migrations in the space as well. They made history on OpenSea. It's one of my projects that I hold as well. So I just wanted to give Neo Tokyo a shout out for that in terms of rights, royalties, and all that good stuff. So Luxo could be one of those players that could do really well long-term as well. You can see it ran up in the bull run at $38, and now it's at almost $10. It's had a good run up this past month or two, and it's in a dip there. But as the metaverse continues to grow, you'll see more and more brands jump into the space, and they're going to have to solve some of these issues. So maybe Luxo could benefit from some of that as well, in terms of digital phygital and how brands want to reach the end consumer. Obviously we're seeing phygital products be more popular these days, so that's something I wanted to talk about in terms of Luxo. So those are kind of some of the ones I'm looking at. Some not so maybe, but I just wanted to talk about some of those. While ad shares, I haven't heard them in a long time. That's crazy. So they're like super old in the space. I don't know why they're in the metaverse category, but that's interesting. Those are the main ones I really wanted to talk about before this Apple event. Those are the main suspects that I kind of keep on my radar in terms of the prices, what they're doing. Everdome's another one. This one's a pretty low market cap, 21 mil. They're like higher end metaverse as well. Again, there's a few of them that are kind of like the higher end, Network, Everdome, Wilder World, and I think one other one. But these are, I think that the long-term potential here could be good if some of these metaverses can really, bring in users and onboard them in a creative way, or capture some of the hype, perhaps, things like that. So it'll be interesting to watch a few of those and see what they'll do there. But let's go to chat here. Let's see. I have 60 plus ships, and oh my gosh. Gee, SoCal, homie. My goodness. You have 60 plus ships. You are a whale, my friend. I'm playing Overworld and Zero while watching you now. Let's go. Been away for a while. Hope you're well. Hey, appreciate that, SoCal, homie. Good to see you in the chat. Let's see here. But nowhere near as awesome as Illuvium. So bummed that Cavernous continues to cause VV versus delays. Oh, well. Yeah, so Cavernous, that's the one thing with VV is it's kind of tied to how fast Cavernous can develop. So that is something that I think if you're into, the OMI token or the Red Circle community, you definitely want to be looking out for Cavernous updates, follow them on Twitter, perhaps, and things like that. I think that's going to be key. And I've mentioned that in the previous stream and video as well, that VV is going to have to be kind of tied in terms of Cavernous development, in terms of the metaverse play, right? Or the metaverse angle, if you will. So that is something to definitely watch out for sure. The local scalper says, appreciate you, Kyle. Keep up the awesome content and professionalism. Ignore that negative energy. Hey, your local scalper, I appreciate that, man. That means a lot. Shout out to you. I do appreciate everybody reaching out on DMs and, supporting me and helping me process through all this journey and things like that. I think a lot of people are, or at least not a lot of people, but select community members try to attack me and things like that, and say all kinds of things and put words in my mouth. So I do appreciate all the DM support and people that recognize, the real ones out there. And so I just wanted to give you a little appreciation and shout out. So again, thank you so much for all the DMs and support. It means a lot to me, because block out them haters. That's my wife right there. But anyways, yeah. So I got a lot of DMs from a lot of you, and I just wanted to show my appreciation for that, because again, I'm super loyal, and it's really cool to see people out there that really just appreciate me for my content and for what I've been putting in all the effort into the space the past few years. And that's kind of what my goal is anyways, is to document my process, document my journey, obviously provide amazing research, analysis, and education and entertainment, but also I guess just push this, or not I guess, but literally push this space forward into the future, right? And help people get educated in the space, onboard people, and that's kind of the goal, right? Is just pushing the space forward and being a pioneer. So anyways, that's all I got for this stream. That's all the tokens I really wanted to talk about. The Apple event again is at 10 a.m. PT. It's coming up in 7 minutes. All right, so you know what to do if you enjoyed the stream. Smash the like if you liked the video, and share it to a friend if you enjoyed this one, and hit that sub and bell notification buttons if you want to stay up to date on stuff like this. We've been covering tokens. We've been covering, ordinals, what's happening on ordinals. And my predictions on ordinals was long-term as well. We'll talk about that later. But we talk about the latest tech, the latest stuff that's happening in the Web3 space, and much, much more, and breaking it down for you so you can understand it and take advantage of some of these key opportunities out in the space. And that's what it's all about, right? So without further ado, I'll see you guys later in the next video and stream. Much appreciation from all of you that continue to support, and be like an NFT, be like an ordinal, be authentic, and I'll catch y'all later. And I'll probably, by the way, be doing a video on the Apple headset later today or tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you have those notifications turned on, and I'll see you later. Peace.
Batman out of debt, Mooly money on the jet. Whoa. Go crazy. was praying for a better day. I was hustling, had to make a play. So the NFT, now my money straight. We in Web3 in the meta space. They was pressing me like an AMA. Feel like Gucci with a lemonade. Please excuse me if you feel away. In the metaverse and I'm getting paid. Augmented reality, living life lavishly, yo. I captured my life and I made it a gallery, yo. I told my story and made it my salary, yo. I put my family on that, they proud of me, yo. I'm not the one you could play with. Don't you know it could get dangerous? Not worried about getting famous. I just wanna pull up and lane switch. This era decentralization birthed a new civilization. Crypto been doing amazing. Bank account